Just note that this is just a list for the past 2 years of crimes committed by the very agencies that we now see terrorizing American cities and communities today. Kevin Taylor, an ICE agent from Riley, Michigan, was sentenced in 2023 to 5 to 15 years in prison for molesting 2 underage female relatives who were between the ages of 4 and 9 when the abuse began. U.S. Border Patrol agent Stephen Charles Holmes, 33 of Arizona, was convicted in 2023 of 11 felonies after strangling and raping several women. Juan Lopez, 48, an ICE agent from Combs, Texas, was arrested in 2023 for sexually assaulting a minor over a period of several months. In May 2024, Nerio Mejia Gomez, 41, a Border Patrol agent from Yuma, Arizona, was indicted on multiple counts of producing, possessing, and distributing child sexual abuse material. He was also indicted for possession of an unregistered, short-barreled rifle. Gomez faces up to 100 years in prison. Paul Casey Whipple, 41, a Border Patrol agent from Hondo, Texas, was sentenced on October 24, 2024, to 50 years in prison on charges of producing and distributing hundreds of photos and videos depicting the sexual abuse of a prepubescent girl. Kobe Don Williams, 49, an ICE officer from Ellensburg, Washington, was sentenced in 2024 to 11 years in prison after arranging to meet what he thought was a 13-year-old sex worker at a hotel. He showed up with Viagra, $4,000 in cash, and his ICE badge. Tucson Sector CBP agent Efren Lopez Cornejo was sentenced in January 2025 to lifetime parole with no jail time after being charged with 14 felonies, including child molestation, sexual abuse of a minor, and sexual conduct with a minor. The 2 victims were family members. One was 9 when the abuse started. Customs and Border Protection Officer Scott James Rocky, 57, of Centerline, Michigan, was charged in February 2025 with possession of thousands of child sexual abuse images and videos. FBI agents raided his home and found an external hard drive containing the videos. Andrew Golobic, 53, an ICE supervisor from Cincinnati, Ohio, was sentenced in March 2025 to 12 years in prison for sexually abusing and coercing female victims under his supervision. Arizona CBP Port Officer Aaron Thomas Mitchell, 30, was sentenced to 27 years in prison in March 2025 after being convicted on federal charges of abducting and sexually assaulting a 15-year-old Douglas Middle School student in 2022. Mitchell now faces state charges in Cochise County. Yuma Sector CBP agent Ramon Marquez, 31, was arrested in May of 2025 and has been charged with 15 felonies, including 14 counts of sexual conduct with a 16-year-old between December 2024 and April of 2025. Jason Michael Drown, 40, a Border Patrol agent from Gilbert, Arizona, was arrested on April 8, 2025, and charged with 10 counts of sexual exploitation of a minor after months of a long investigation revealed that he had downloaded and shared sexual abuse material featuring a child under the age of 10. Timothy Ryan Gregg, 51, an ICE HSI agent from Minnesota, was arrested in June of 2025 for enticing a minor and production of child sexual abuse material. Anthony John Crowley, 52, a Customs and Border Protection officer from Minnesota, was arrested in June of 2025 for possession and distribution of child sexual abuse material depicting a minor under the age of 12. Crowley was sentenced January 29, 2026 to 71 months in prison. U.S. Customs and Border Patrol agent Harvey Mavell Pellis of Newport, Michigan, was arrested in July of 2025 after messaging an undercover agent posing as a 13-year-old girl. Tucson Sector Border Patrol agent Bart Conrad Yeager, 39, was indicted in July of 2025 on 24 felony charges, including 10 counts of child sex trafficking, 5 drug-related felonies, and 2 counts of fraud. He was investigated for the now-closed Tucson rape case 10 years ago, but CBP never investigated. Derek James Dominguez, 37, a Border Patrol agent from Mercedes, Texas, was arrested on August 28, 2025, and charged with child sexual abuse following a months-long investigation. Alexander Stephen Back, an ICE employee from Bloomington, Minnesota, was arrested in November 2025 for coercion of a minor. He attempted to meet up with what he thought was a 17-year-old girl for sex and was immediately arrested. U.S. Customs and Border Protection officer Luis Uribe was indicted on December 2025 on 11 counts. He committed multiple gunpoint sexual assaults and robberies of women in the Chicago area who offered him money and referenced their children as they begged him to stop. Uribe preyed on sex workers. Samuel Saxon, 47, the Assistant Field Office Director of ICE, ERO, in Cincinnati, was charged in December 2025 with strangulation and domestic violence. His partner also suffered a broken pelvis and a broken nose. Again, this is a list of facts to remember as the federal government tries to sell us on the need for a national immigration police force.